Let's go ahead and wrap up the month of June. And I am super excited for wrapping up the month of June for a couple of reasons. One, July is my birthday month. Two, I read some really good books in the month of June. Most of them were new authors, and I enjoyed it. It made me feel like, what was I thinking? Why was I not reading these books? Anyways, let's get into it. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. So, in the month of June, I read 15 books and I DNF'd 5. So, when I say I DNF'd 5 books, that just means that I had a full on intention on reading these books. I read some portion of it, anywhere from 1 to 3 chapters, and decided that book was not for me. So, we're going to start out with the ones I DNF'd, and then we'll get into the good stuff, which the show is really short. So the first book I DNF was The Blackbirds of St. Giles by Lila Kane. And I might go back to some of these books because The Blackbirds of St. Giles, the person who was reading the book, so these were audiobooks, the person that was reading the book had an accent, which I tried to get past and it did not work out. So it wasn't the book, it was just that I couldn't get past the accent. So I'm going to need to read The Blackbirds of St. Giles for myself. Esperance, that was another one. I need to read it for myself. The Manual for Good Wives, I need to read it for myself. Legendborn by Tracy Dion, just could not get into it. My daughter and I had the hardest time, just not interested. And then there was another book, but it was a Kindle Unlimited book called Rose something. I can't remember, but and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna find it and put it up on the screen. This book, it just, I don't know, for some I don't mind reading about young adults. I don't even mind reading YA books. But for some reason this book seemed very young, very, I don't know, I just didn't like it. It was something about it that felt very young to me. Not young in the way that I'm used to. Um, I don't know. I just couldn't connect with the book. So I put that down, and 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to pick it up. It is one of those 10 books that I was reading for the summer. I think I've already read like maybe 6 of them so far. So let's get into what we came here for. so we are going to start from the beginning. So, okay. I read Give Me All of You by Tacarra. This was good. It was so good, in fact. Tacarra was one of those people that I went through her catalog because I was looking for something else to read. And it's not that I didn't find anything, it's just that I decided to try a different author before I go back into her catalog. Um, the Pain You Left by Lucinda John, which I am familiar with. But this book, it surprised me. So, Lucinda, this is not your regular book. It's like, it felt like it could be like a diary or something. She's telling the story about herself and like what she's been going through and where she is now. And this book touched me so much. I felt her pain. But this is sort of like, I'm not going to say a memoir, but it does kind of feel like a diary entry of maybe 5 or 10 years of her life, or whatever the time span is. But this was a good book. I hate to say it was a good book because I think this is really her life. And then I read Hard Lovin' Straight Thuggin' by Yvonne. This book was so good to me. It was all of the urban fiction. Um, You had this guy with the money and the girl and the family, the mom. Oh my God, his sister. Oh, this was a good book. It had all the elements. I read, there's a series of 3 books. I read 2 of the 3. I'm definitely going to get to the third. Um, I just don't know what the third book is going to be about because I feel like they wrapped everything up in 2, but the book was so good. I have to figure out what's going to be happening in 3. So then I read The Opposite of Soft by Mal Dahl, which I loved. I totally enjoyed this book. Then I read Any and Everything for Love by Monica Walters. I enjoyed that book. And then I read A Shooter Song by Evelyn Latrice. Now, this book blew me away. This to me was everything. This book was so freaking good. So basically, the book is about this girl and this guy. And the guy, he's a singer. But he's got so much stuff going on in his life. He got so much trauma and, just all the stuff going on that he really just can't sit still and sing. And he's got this girlfriend who loves him, and the girlfriend has a baby, and they are in love. But he has so much freaking trauma that it's just about him going back and forth and, just all these things happening in his life. And a lot of it is his own fault, just because I feel like he was really just kind of immature and not in control of his emotions. Um, because we don't live in the wild, wild west. You can't just decide, I don't like what so and so did, and now I'm gonna be justice. You know what I'm saying? But I like literally had feelings when I was reading this book. This was so good. Evelyn Latrice, that was my first time reading one of her books. I did go through and I have found my next read from her. I'm just hoping that I get the same kind of vibes, the same kind of feelings, all of the good stuff. This was a great book. Then I read Sweetest by Madam Wise, which I did not care for very much at all. Um, what was it about? This girl who I think she went on a date or something. I don't know if she was, I can't remember the reason why she went on this date or whatever. And this mob guy, or I don't know. It was just not my kind of book. I didn't enjoy it. And then Fumble into Love by Elle Marearis. That was good. I enjoy sports romance. It was really good. It was good. It was good. I would give it like 4.3, something like that. It was really good. I liked it. I'm actually gonna read book 2 of this. I never read Elle Marearis before, so that was another new author. Then I read Always My Baby by Alexandria House, which I've read a bunch of her stuff, and it was only like 25 pages, so it wasn't really a big deal. It was just a little quick read. And then I read Parachutes 2 by Tekera Allen. And so I had never read anything by Tekera Allen. I didn't read book 1. I did read book 2. Now, book 2, uh, it was good. In this particular book, I feel like this is some it's so hard to explain. I don't even know. Like, ride or die. That's it. I feel like this is like that ride or die love, but I almost felt like it was one sided, you know? And You know what? I don't think it was one-sided. I think that it was mutual until it wasn't. Because a lot of times when it comes to that whole ride or die situation, it's usually we think of the woman as being a ride or die, and we think of the man as kind of doing whatever it is he's doing, and the woman's waiting for him no matter what. So if he cheats, I'm waiting for you. If he goes to jail, I'm waiting for you. If he, I don't know what, just whatever he does, the woman is supposed to be there, and that is what constitutes ride or die. I feel like the love was deep, it was mutual, and they were both ride or dies for each other. However, at some point, somebody's got to figure out, is it worth it? And that is what I got from this book. It was good. It made me wonder what happened in the first book. And so I can only assume that maybe the first book is how they met and them getting together, because they're already together in book two. So I assume it's just them meeting and getting together, and um how they, fell so deeply in love with each other. And then this is them being in love. Um, and I think it's supposed to be a book three. So I'm interested in seeing what happens with that. My favorite was The Art of Hood Love. There's definitely an art to hood love when it comes to this series. And like, normally when I read a series, it's like I'm not reading it all at one time because it's too many books for me to stop and go. No, I had to stay right here and see what was happening with Shabu and Savvy. These two characters, I love both of them. Shabu he is that hood dude that you want. Like, not that you want, just like in real life. Now, remember, this is not real life because my husband is not a hood guy by far, under no circumstances. But in the book world or whatever, but I, tend to pretend like it's real. But in Shabu is the guy that you want. He is loyal. He is protective. He is generous. He is kind. Not only that, from the very beginning of the book, he immediately started to pour into her, to elevate her, to educate her. And it's one thing for a man to try and tell you something and you don't need it, or he's trying to tell you something that's like his way, as opposed to giving you information that actually builds you up in some way. And that was Shabu. He built her up. He had her back. Not only did he have her back, he had her cousins back. Like, and then the whole family, just embraced them. And when it came down to choosing, if it's between whoever and Savvy, Shabu was gonna choose Savvy. And I think that is what, I know that's what I want. I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak for anybody else, but I know that's what I want. When it all boils down, you got a question. You got a question to answer. Is it me or is it them, or is it me or is it that? Whatever the thing is, whether it's a thing, a person, a place, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Shabu made his decision. I want Shabby. I want Savvy. And he did what he needed to do. It did not make him less than a man. He was still macho. He still had that bravado. He still had the swag, but he let people know. They knew you may as well not even try and go that route because it's not going to work. I enjoyed this book. It gave me a deeper understanding of Relic. Now, I get his issues or whatever, but I mean, I just cannot get with him treating women the way he did. And that was my mistake of reading the book last, which I didn't know it was a series. But finding out who Relic is, of course, at this point, I understand why he is the way he is. But at some point, you have to recognize your mistakes and change them. And he's the older brother. So you telling me you got three brothers under you that you have watched and taken care of. You've seen them change. You know what's going on, yet you have not changed. Come on now. But he did change in Relic, which is why I was like, I like him. I liked Relic in Relic because he was a man who knew what he wanted. He did not waver. He made things happen. Like, he had like some really good qualities in Relic, but in the Art of Hood Love, the qualities that he showed there were horrible. He was just a terrible person, period. I mean, ugh. But and then you have his brother, the brother-in-law. Um, I don't even know what to say about him because I mean, sometimes it's just too late, and I mean, it just is what it is. Um, they showed they she showed so many different sides of um I guess you could just say hood love. She showed so many different sides through across the four books that I've read. So the Art of Hood Love is one series of books, and then I also read Relic, and Relic is like a spinoff from that. And there was just so much happening, so many different angles, the family life, the partying, the relationships, like all of these different elements. I enjoyed this book so much. I um, attempted to go on to the next book. I forgot the name of it, but I attempted to go on to the next book, and I just said, you know what? Stop. Move on to something else, and then you could come back to it. I understand that there are going to be other books because the book is called Disrespectfully Relic, and then it looks like there's going to be some other books, Disrespectfully Treasured, Disrespectfully Whoever. And oh my God, Pierre, boy, couldn't keep his mouth closed for the life of him. Like, had a mouth like a girl. But I enjoyed this so much. And let me see. The next one, I let me get off of this because I think I could talk about this like for just on and on and on. So that was Sabi, Shabu, Love, Disrespectfully Relic, and I also read Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. So that was the 15 books. Um, I was just blown away. I read such good books this June. If you read any of these books, drop them down in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed the Art of Hood Love as much as I did, or a shooter song. So I just had a wonderful reading month. I don't know that I've had a month so good, but I enjoyed it. So don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to come back for more Black Book Talk. And until next time, see you soon.